There are kids in this world who are different, special. In this episode, I'll be breaking down the 39th episode of 6 Minute Season 4, piece by piece. Well, hello, Review Pop listeners, it's Landon Mueller. Now, we are here today to talk about episode 39 of 6 Minute Season 4, called Out for a Cup of Joe, the teenage version. And this episode was excellent. Firstly, I've been waiting to hear from young Joe ever since we visited the cabin, and he's blown away my expectations. GZM has done such a great job writing him, and I hope to see younger versions of other characters. I also thought Sam Stone did such a great job in this week's episode. He conveyed Adam's emotions in such an accurate way, which can be hard to do. On another note, 6 Minutes Day 2025 is now history. Firstly, David Kreisman confirmed that there will be 52 total episodes in Season 4. The finale will be so exciting and will definitely lead straight into Season 5. Also, I made a 6 Minutes Day audio fic which was featured on the live stream. I really appreciate Jess including it.
You know there's a snowstorm rolling through.
Oh, we didn't see the weather report.
You got chains on your tires? If not, I could help you. Where's your car? Is it back by the shed?
I feel like this is a great callback to Season 1 of 6 Minutes. Remember how Birdie set up dinner at the cabin? Badger, or Bruce at the time, found himself in the middle of a devastating snowstorm. And I'm curious to see if we're seeing something similar here. The storm episodes in Season 1 were very exciting, and that's when Holiday and Brinley started to work together for the first time. They put their differences aside to help Badger, and I'm excited for what might happen as a result of this snowstorm. Also love how, even at a young age, Joe is still hospitable. Think back to Season 1. He invited the Anders into his home and made them a great meal. Similarly, Joe offered to help James with his tires instead of getting mad and telling them to leave. I'm happy to know that he's always been a great guy.
Is that a helicopter back there?
Is it?
Uh-oh.
You said you were just driving around.
Well, see...
What do you want from me?
Hey, does anybody know how that weird stove works?
This is both funny, but I also feel bad for Joe. Several strangers broke into his house, a house he's sworn to protect, and I think he was starting to trust James. But there's no way he can now. Either way, James and the girls relied on being able to stay here. It's not like they can stay at Whittier Court because they need a place that's safe and secure. I also think it's funny how Kady opened the door. Either way, it's safe to say that Joe has always tried to protect his home, especially as he's grown older. I recall the iconic gun click that Joe made after he realized that there were people in his home.
What are we doing?
Don't you get it? That's Cadence and Joe, my mom and dad, meeting for the first time. We're watching one of the greatest moments in Pasternak history.
The fact that she knows what will happen in her life is hard, but, maybe it's also exciting. She's, of course, in a much different position than Cadence was, but even still, she must be curious to learn about Joe, a person she's supposed to marry. Maybe she secretly likes him, or maybe she can't imagine being with him. I also love how James is such a bad liar. Hearing him string together sentences is the funniest thing, and I think that says a lot about him. I love his quirkiness and how similar he is to Cyrus. I also love the sound design. The bathroom sound is perfect.
And I don't appreciate some stuck-up phonies choppering in to trick me out of my family's land.
They don't know anything about us.
And I don't want to.
Good, because frankly, this place is gross.
I love what Jess talked about on Rewind. She said that eventually Cadence would come to love the cabin. And seeing as though Kady hates the cabin, I'm very surprised that she ended up that way. Kady and Joe seem like very different people, and I'm curious to know how they eventually fall in love. Right now, they're leading very different lifestyles. I can also feel the appreciation Joe has for his land and for his family history. I love the morals Joe holds and the fact that he respects his family. Needless to say, this scene is funny and it feels like a silent moment in a sort of way. Well, at least for now. I also love the music cue that dates back to Season 1 of 6 Minutes. Remember when Cyrus blew off Casey's robot date? This fantastic cue was used and I'm always reminded of it when I hear it.
Let's see, what else you got?
Don't you dare.
Hey,
Kady!
what's going on?
All of you, Get out of my house and off my property now!
Kady! What did you do?
This is really interesting, and there's a lot of theories surrounding it. Firstly, on 6 Minutes Day 2025, David Kreisman was asked to describe the finale of Season 4 in 6 words. He said, change the past, change the future.
So what can we take from that?
Well, that means that there's consequences for changing the past. And Joe and Kady hating each other is probably changing the past in more ways than one. I'd imagine that Cadence had a good first impression when she met Joe.
But maybe Kady messed that up.
Joe was extremely mad, and who can blame him? He thought Kady was stuck up, and I don't think he wants to see her again, and that's changing the past.
No wonder he was masking his scent.
Take it easy, Adam.
That's how he was able to control me. Of course, Jude is Whittier. Ugh!
We haven't seen Adam like this in such a long time.
And it concerns me. Like I've said before, he's been through so much, and he's made a lot of progress with Remy. Who's to say he won't repeat history and do something terrible? Hating the world caused him to do some bad things, and I think that's shocking for Remy. And really my question is whether or not Remy can help Adam under these circumstances. Should she let him deal with it himself?
Or should she come to his aid? I'm not sure there's much she can do.
The music cue is also awesome. It's creepy in a sense, and I love how the vocals are used.
Like I've said, this is probably one of my favorite cues from Out of Time.
Simply because of how creepy it sounds. And in the scene, I think it really reflects how Adam is feeling.
Well, they both kind of tried to ruin my life. It actually makes sense.
Sense?
Adam, calm down. Don't.
Adam has always thought highly of himself in the sense that he was the smartest. He's always considered himself a leader in that he was the bravest. But now he feels plain stupid.
And I can't say that feeling is healthy.
Jude is known to be persuasive and manipulative. He's tricked so many people, and, he always seems to be 2 steps ahead. So no wonder Adam is infuriated. Now on to my prediction. On Rewind, Jess suggested that Adam isn't going to take out Jude.
Rather, he has an even worse punishment for him.
And, I think that makes sense, and I'm very excited.
I also think Adam seems very violent in this scene.
I'm not exactly sure what he was doing, but Remy cautioned everyone to get out of the way. And I'm worried that he might continue to be violent.
Sam, something tells me we should go too.
Good idea.
I'd like to speak a bit about the Neverland situation. There's definitely been a big build-up to River and Sam going there, and last we heard the Cams were at Neverland. And, I'm really excited to hear the OG Cam again. I mean, she's so fantastic.
Also, she's one of the most beloved characters of 6 Minutes.
Looking back on Season 3, we were all really surprised to find out that Mila was one of the Cams. So when we go to Neverland, will there be another surprise waiting for us? I know the Cams won't be too excited to see River and Sam, but because of this build-up, I expect something huge. The other thing I've thought a bit about is that Holiday and Birdie are still looking for them. And the last place they'd expect to find them is at Neverland.
So things should get interesting.
Prepare the Whittier Corp jet. Great work, Adam.
See you soon, boss.
What an exciting cliffhanger, and I have so many questions. For starters, and this goes back to last week's episode, what is Adam planning to do? Thank you for listening to this week's episode.
Make sure you follow the podcast wherever you listen. Until next time, this is Landon saying peace, love, and time travel.